Hey, what is up guys? Welcome to MST.TV. This is Nishi here, and today we are postponing our scheduled market watch to have a bit of a discussion about the product changes that were just announced. If you guys didn't know, at a community day in Germany, Konami just announced a bunch of adjustments regarding products, rarities, and ratios of core sets that I think are going to bring about a lot of positive changes for the year 2020. These changes are going to affect not just the players, but also stores and vendors as well. So what I thought we'd do today is go over each of these changes one by one and try to analyze exactly how each of these things is going to affect all of us as Yu-Gi-Oh players. Now, two warnings here. Firstly, there is a tiny bit of math that I did in this video. It's not complicated math. It's not even necessarily like a 100% accurate representation of what's happening. I did it to illustrate a point. Sorry, it's like my Asian side. If I'm not including math at every opportunity, like what am I even doing? Secondly, this was announced by Konami in Germany, so these changes aren't necessarily confirmed to be changing here in North America as well, but they're such big changes that we're gonna have to assume that they are. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to let me know by hitting that thumbs up button for me and let me know what you think of the changes in the comment section down below. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so to start off here, we're gonna go over those rarity changes in the core sets first. So the first change here is that non-holo rares are being removed from core sets, starting with Eternity Code, which is actually crazy because like there's basically been rares in every single core set ever since Legend of Blue Eyes, like the very first booster pack, right? Rares are the cards that are not holo, but they have the silver lettering. Now, instead of getting 7 commons, 1 rare, and 1 holo in every pack, we will instead be getting 8 commons and then the 1 holo. So in terms of how this affects the player base, I don't really think the change, like this change alone in and of itself is a big deal. I don't know too many people that are really crazy about rares. I think Silent Enigma, DPYGO, I vaguely remember him saying something about him being really fond of rares, but like I think I watched that video like a really long time ago. But yeah, because of this, there has been a bit of a shuffle with the number of cards included in each rarity bracket. So before the set breakdown was 48 commons, 20 rares, 14 supers, 10 ultras, and 8 secrets. However, we now have the 20 rares taken out and then being distributed to the other rarities, mostly going towards the super rares. So now instead, each set will consist of 50 commons, 26 super rares, 14 ultras, and then 10 secret rares. Now this change comes with one other piece of news, and that is that Konami has decided to directly address short prints, stating that all the cards in their respective rarities will be evenly distributed. So we're gonna take a look at each of these two things, right? The short prints and the ratio changes, and we're gonna look at how each of them is going to affect the market in their own way. And in doing so, we're going to assume that we're gonna be sticking with the current box ratios, which is that we're getting 18 super rares, 4 ultras, and 2 secret rares per box. So we're going to talk a bit about the elimination of short prints first actually, but in doing so, I'm going to take a bit of a different approach. So first of all, before, in a case, you would expect to get 24 secrets, roughly 2 per box. However, in previous sets, it was clearly harder to pull some secret rares than others. Typically, like the good secrets and ultras were harder to pull. So for example, like secret rares, we had cards like Infinite Impermanence, Appaloosa, Pot of Extravagance that were hard to pull. And then even for ultras, right, we had like Borreload Savage Dragon and IP Masquerena. So let's assume that you're buying a case of a certain set. Now, I think typically the hope is that you're going to be able to pull approximately a playset of each secret rare, right? Which I think is actually quite reasonable. 24 secret rares in the box, 8 different secret rares, 3 of each, you know, that's pretty good. However, you were definitely not able to pull all of the short prints before. Now, if Konami truly made all the secret rares in a set evenly distributed and left 8 secrets, we would then almost be guaranteed to pull a set of each secret in every single case. So almost as a way of like counteracting that, right? They increased the number of secret rares in the set to 10. So you're still going to be pulling approximately like playsets of 4 secret rares in one case, but you are definitely going to need to grab some singles or something on top of that. In that way, like when I look at these changes, I think, yes, it's great that Konami has stopped short printing cards, but at the same time, I think of it as Konami has made every single secret rare a short print. They've made it so that the pool of secret rares is bigger, so it's going to feel a lot harder to pull those chase secret rares that you're really after. Now, all of that being said, I think that ultimately this rarity redistribution is going to increase the prices of single cards on the secondary market, but it's also going to increase the value that players get for opening packs and boxes. So in any given pack or box, it's actually much harder to pull a specific card that you're looking for, even if it's no longer short printed. So let's assume that you buy a box because you're hunting down a specific card, like a secret rare card. We only added 2 secret rares to the card pool. Not a huge gap, right? But for the sake of illustration here, you're now 4% less likely to pull that secret rare that you want because there's a bigger card pool, right? So remember before, like if there were 8 secret rares, assuming it was evenly distributed, you were about to get like one secret rare, one of that secret rare in every 4 boxes. Now if it's 1 in 10, that's 1 in 5 boxes. Now obviously guys, these numbers here that I'm showing aren't perfect. These calculations are done without taking into account like short prints from before, and without the assumption that like when you pull one card, the chances of you pulling the same card again are like basically 0, but I think that it illustrates what I'm getting at here. So the biggest drop off is with super rares for sure. If you were going to buy a box and you're looking for a specific super rare, you are now 23% less likely approximately to pull that super rare under the new ratios than you were before. Right before, we only had 14 super rares in a set and you got 18 supers in a box. It was kind of assumed that you'd be able to grab at least one of every single super, and if you didn't, you were just like super unlucky. But now with a much more expansive pool of super rares, it's going to be a lot harder to pull a specific card. In fact, there's 26 supers in the set but only 18 spots in a box. So even if every single super you pull is different, you're not guaranteed one of each in every box. Now, I'm going to argue that this is a good thing for the secondary market when they're trying to open product and get value back, because it means that the value of the product that we're all opening goes up. If it's harder to get a specific card, then it makes sense that the price of the cards go up as well. Over the last little while, we've really seen super rares kind of like deflate in value. We have the occasional good one like Mystic Mind or Crackdown or Twin Twisters, but a lot of the supers that we've seen are really just like bad. I'm really hoping that this redistribution is going to add a bit more value to the sets overall and increase the value that people get from opening packs and boxes, because when they do go in on that product, I want them to have that value, and I think it incentivizes players to go support their local stores by buying product, buying packs, and keeping them alive as well. Okay, so next thing, this is pretty minor in terms of like information that it actually brings to the table, but we do finally have a name for the prismatic secret rare / alternative secret rare, or whatever you want to call it, and that is the Starlight rare, which I guess is cool. The name doesn't really change too much one way or the other. Slightly important is that we are going to be getting 5 different cards in each set available as Starlight rares instead of the 4 that we're used to. And I guess now it's not necessarily 1 rare, 1 super, 1 ultra, 1 secret, because we don't have rares anymore, but we're apparently going to find that out later down the line. Personally, I'm a really big fan of these Starlight rares. I think they're really cool and add a lot of excitement when you're opening sealed product. So I'm happy to see them stick around, assuming of course that they are still approximately 1 in every 2 cases. I don't think that any of this news is going to be bringing about too many changes. Okay, so this is a really big one, but sneak peeks the way that we know them are basically now gone. We have one last one with Ignition Assault and that's it. So whereas before you'd get 5 packs and a promo card, what we're now getting is the chance to get a whole box early, but then also get some more playable promo cards. Obviously this is a bit ambiguous, but I think it's kind of promising. Like with sneak kits before, they were cool. You basically got like 5 packs for $20 or $25 and then a promo card that was never really going to be relevant at all. However, from the way it sounds to me, we're going to be getting multiple cards as promos. I think kind of similar to the way Speed Duel sneak peek goes, where you get like the little promo pack and you get a whole bunch of different cards. I'm hoping that this is going to be giving us the chance to get cards other than what's available just in the main set, as a way of introducing more like TCG exclusive cards or OCG imports to the game. But we'll see. So like for me personally, I'm a really big fan of this change overall. I think that the promos are going to be a big game changer moving forward, and I'm hoping that they add a lot of value. However, I am slightly concerned about this change from the perspective of more casual players. I mean, like for a box, you're looking at what, like 70 US or like 80 to 90 Canadian, which is quite a bit more money than like the $20 to $25 that you would have been spending at a sneak peek before. And I understand, like, you're getting a whole box, there's a good chance that you're gonna get more value out of those packs than before, and as well as the promos, right? So there's a good chance that it's really gonna be worth it. but not all players have access to money where they can go and drop like $100 on a sneak peek weekend. I think that definitely the way that sneak peeks were structured before was much more friendly to extremely like casual budget players, but this change might not be the best for like the interests of those people. So yeah, while I do see this as an overall positive change for a lot of the community, I do think that there is going to be a fair amount of criticism from this move. Next up, apparently we are getting rid of special editions yet again. So special editions are these small boxes where you get 3 unlimited packs of a set, plus 1 or 2 promo cards as well. We've seen the promos be a number of things like reprints, sneak peeks of cards from the next set, and then recently exclusive imports to the TCG that you can't get anywhere else. We actually did have special editions gone for a little while before. Back when we got the deluxe editions, I believe that was like roughly Primal Origin or Duelist Alliance kind of era. But I think that only lasted for like 4 or 5 sets as well. They kind of flopped. Personally, I'm a really big fan of special editions, but I can't really say too much about the change, right? Because they haven't revealed exactly what product they're going to be replacing it with afterwards. Personally, I'm a really big fan of the special editions, but I can't really say too much about this change because they haven't revealed exactly what product we're going to be getting in place of it afterwards. Honestly, the last time they tried to steer away from special editions, their attempt kind of flopped, so I'm excited to see what they come up with this time around. Alright guys, so last one's a bit more of a minor announcement here, and this is that Rush Duels are apparently going to be an OCG only thing, not brought over to the TCG. The idea is that we have speed duels here in the TCG, and that's going to be sort of like the side format that we get here in place of Rush Duels. Now, I don't think that this is horrible. I am pretty fond of speed duels. Like, some of my friends and I actually tried to start like a speed duel locals on Thursdays, and it's working out pretty well and it's really fun. But honestly, I was just really looking forward to Rush Duels. I think that the way the cards look is really cool with like the larger picture and the sort of like simplified card design. I guess it sort of makes sense if you view Speed Duel and Rush Duel cards as like an entire separate line of product from everything else. But I feel like if Rush Duels are featured in the anime, I'm gonna feel kind of choked that we don't get to experience them here as well. I'm hoping that this is just a temporary thing and that the product release in the TCG is just going to be delayed a little bit. Only time's going to tell for this one, but I'm hoping that we do get it brought over eventually. Alright guys, so that is it for today's discussion. Honestly, between like the master rule changes and all of the changes coming to the product that we're getting, I feel like 2020 is going to be an amazing year for Yu-Gi-Oh! All around. I'm really excited for basically all of the changes that we're getting, and I hope that you guys are too. But yeah, so guys, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button for me, and be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all of these product changes, what kind of things you guys are looking forward to or maybe not so excited about. And of course guys, make sure that you are subscribed so that you can be up to date with all of the latest content from myself and from Tombox. And yeah, so until next time guys, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV.